going on, Pokemon Go trainers? Welcome to episode 24 of the Lured Up Creator Series, the podcast bringing your favorite content creators to talk about their work, process, and the game that brings it all together, Pokemon Go. Lured Up is part of the Pokemon Professor Network, and today is Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021. I'm your host, Ken Pescatore, and this week we are joined by Legendary Moo. What's up, man? Welcome to the show. How are you?
Doing all right, thanks, man. How are you?
I'm great. Great to be alive, man. I'm ready. I'm ready for life. How you living?
Doing well, thank you.
I'm excited that you're here. I want to talk PvP. I don't always get the opportunity to talk PvP, man. So I'm excited to talk to someone who's got some fucking some fingers in the PvP scene. So I'm very excited to do that. But let's get started. Why don't you introduce yourself? Let us know your name, where you're from, what you're all about, and then we'll start talking about some content.
My name's Andrew. I go by Legendary Moo in the game. For the most part, streaming on Twitch, Legendary Moo _ at Pogo Moo on Twitter. Do a variety of different games from Magic to Final Fantasy VII Remake and Pokemon Go PvP.
Yo, I definitely want to talk about Magic too, because I have a history playing Magic back in the day. I'm obsessed with the Pokemon trading card game, so anything with cards, I'm very much into. So I do want to talk about that, but let's talk about your relationship with Pokemon. When did you start getting into the Pokemon franchise? And like, is Pokemon Go your only thing, or do you engage with like other forms of the franchise outside of Go?
Go is pretty much it. I remember when I was a kid, I might have been 10, and my brother was like 8 when we got Game Boy Colors for Christmas.
Nice.
I had a black Game Boy Color. My brother had a red one, so I got Pokemon Blue and he got red. And I don't even remember playing through the game anymore, but I know we played it a lot, like thousands of hours. My brother picked up and like he kept playing some of the future versions, but I never really got into anything more than that until Pokemon Snap came out on the Nintendo 64, because that game was like legitimately fun.
Hell yeah.
And not super in-depth. Like, as I was watching him get into like Crystal and some of the other games, I'm like, there's a lot going on here. I just liked catching stuff and beating them into each other. Yeah. And at that point, I was playing Magic the Gathering a lot more, so that just dominated my time.
Right. Oh man, that's awesome. I mean, Snap is great. I'm so psyched for the new Pokemon Snap. I won't call it Pokemon Snap 2, but I'm excited for new Pokemon Snap. Yes. I mean, I think that's going to be absolutely insane, man. I've been waiting for that game for so long, so I'm super hyped. I'm super hyped on that. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to play that.
Same here. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. So let's talk about the way you play the game, because you're in our Discord. I'm constantly seeing you post stuff on social or whatever it may be about these heavy fucking grind sessions, and I gotta ask, like, let's say you're not making content. How do you enjoy playing this game, and what's a typical day in the life of your gameplay style?
It depends on what's going on, really. Like, today versus a community day, massively different days. But
sure.
Well, I guess today was a bit of an exception. Well, going through today, I started off at about noon, met up with Lalo Flames. We did a whole ton of raids. I think we got about 30 in until about 6, a little before 6 p.m. Did Spotlight Hour, and then a few more raids, and then came out here. Caught a total of probably 1,000 mons today. I have no idea how many stops I spun. I haven't cleaned up to see. I mean, I had to delete stuff in the middle of the day, but I don't know a lot of the stats yet. But yeah, it was about 1,000 mons caught today, which is great. 30 or 40 field research tasks. What do we get down? 6 kilometers or so walking, so hatched a couple eggs.
Oh, nice.
Pretty fair day.
And that now, so yeah, coming off the Kanto tour, of course, where everyone's like, jamming, getting through these collection challenges and all that kind of stuff. But what's the typical statistical numbers looking like on something like a community day, like a 6-hour community day? Are you grinding straight through?
Most of the time. It depends. If it's something I really like, I will not stop and eat or take a break. If it's something I don't care about, like Porygon, I took like an hour and a half break in the middle because I just didn't care.
Yeah.
But like the Machop Community Day, we went straight through, no nonstop the whole time. Caught 80 shinies, I think. Was it close to 2,000 Machop total? I walked out with like 800 something XL candy. I'd have to pull up the numbers
Dude, that's
to look
fucking insane.
It was awesome.
I love it.
We had cloudy weather for all
shit.
but 1 hour, which definitely helped with the XL candy grind.
Sure.
Ran through all the ammo I had. It was awesome. Totally worth it.
That's amazing, and I love seeing those numbers. And you top the we have the Trainer Decks leaderboard in our patron Discord, so it's like I know you're at the top of that. You're fucking crushing it, man. And it's been a while. You hit level 50 pretty quick, right?
I hit level 50 during Cow Power Hour, and I did that somewhat intentionally. Because the excellent throws there were super easy, and I was getting real sick of trying to huck excellence at Pidgeys and Weedles. It was just getting old. I'm like, all right, I'm done with this. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I whenever I see your community day numbers, I'm like, how is this even fucking possible? Like, I'm fast catching everything, and I don't come close to those numbers. It's like, what the fuck? Are you doing AR fast catching?
Not always. If I'm on foot, I will do AR fast catching, but given, it's like 5 degrees outside for the last couple community days, or it's snowing or some garbage, just playing in the car. Sometimes I'm driving, sometimes somebody else is driving, and quick catching, just quick massive quick catching the whole time. I do, when I quick catch, change balls. I use great balls first, and then when I run out of those, I go to ultra balls.
Dude, I do the same thing. All my hand catching is not with Pokeballs.
Right. The red balls are for the Gacha or Go Plus or whatever device you use.
That's it. I use the Pokeball Plus, and I try to keep anywhere between 750 and 1,000 Pokeballs at any given time, because I need them for the freaking Go Plus, because I'll just rip through it during my work day. I'm using 400 or 500 balls just throughout the day. Mm-hmm. Like, and you don't even realize it, but let alone like dedicated play. So no, I feel that. I completely feel that. But let's start talking about the content a little bit now. As a viewer, what type of content do you consume? Like, there's so much diversity in Pokemon Go content out there, and I know you're talking about Twitch here, but what type of content do you consume? Are you watching stuff on YouTube? Are you doing watching other people on Twitch? Are you doing PvP content you watching? Like, what are you into? What are you a fan of when it comes to Pokemon Go related content?
It's really dependent on the entertainer themselves. The people that I watch the most are King IV on Twitch and his YouTube videos. Super Saiyan Sensei on Twitch is probably one of my favorite ones to watch. He's super funny. His streams are short. He just does PvP, and it's not like playing the best stuff ever. Like recently he's been playing a 100% purified Wobbuffet in the lead just to mess around. He named it Karen because it has return.
That's
it's the shit. Like great. It's awesome. So good. Stuff like that where it's for the fun of it. If I want to watch more grindy, like hardcore PvP, Tiny Boy 306, Jonathan Kelly, FP Sticks, where they're playing for the leaderboard. Like, they're really good. Yeah. Another kid that had popped up recently, his name's Hayden is something. He's an incredible battler. I think he finished 34th on the leaderboard, and he just started streaming like a couple of months ago, and I've been watching him as much as I can. That's pretty cool.
Nice. I can't wait to edit this show, so when I play this back in my ears, I can write down all these names and check them out, because there are some names that I don't recognize, and it's like I love finding new creators, and I love like expanding my reach into understanding different subsegments of the Go community. So
now
I fucking love that.
Somebody that, like, when I want to unplug my brain and just have fun because I'm not watching PvP or anything, I believe this guy might be kind of local to you. Do you know Buck Nasty?
Yeah, I know Buck Nasty, man. He's come to my in-person tournaments before.
Yeah, his name's Mumalo on Twitch. That dude's the shit.
Yep.
I love watching him. And it was actually a raid that he did to me when I first got started that hit me over to affiliate. Because it like bumped my numbers up just that little bit that I needed to get over that hump, which was awesome.
That's great, man. Yeah, he's come out. I think he actually won one of my cups in like season 1 of Sylph. You know, obviously I only did live tournaments up to Rose Cup, you know, in season 2, and that's when the world shut down. But no, he used to come out to a bunch of my tournaments. So that's really cool. It's a small world, man.
Right?
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Once
so cool.
I got a gift from him and I saw your area. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder if Ken knows him. That's very interesting.
Small world.
Yeah, it is.
Small world.
That guy's a party. He was the top ranked on the leaderboard raid streamer for a while. So like when he does PvP, he's real good. But most of the time it's like spice battle, goofball stuff, or raids, like nothing hardcore crazy.
Every so often, like I don't see him out playing much, but every so often I'll like, you know, be driving down and look at the gyms, and it's like, oh shit, Buck Nasty's in every fucking gym here. It's like he's going for it.
Nice.
So that shit's great, man. That's cool. That's cool. So what actually motivated you to start making your own content? Was it watching other people make content, or is this something kind of that you've always wanted to do and needed a creative outlet? Like what was the catalyst to actually get you to point the camera at yourself?
Well, my background in sales and like customer service, I've always been somewhat an entertainer. Like my last job before the Rona ruined the world was I was a table game supervisor at a casino, and obviously before that a dealer. So I am an entertainer. I like having fun with people, interacting, playing games. Like that was my job. And that once the world changed and I no longer have that job, there was kind of a need for a creative outlet. Now I'm more of a mathematical sequential type, so that is not like I'm not going to go paint something. That's not going to be a thing.
Yeah, right.
The idea to stream PvP came up a while ago when I was talking to Camo McGee about a match that I had, and I had said, damn, I wish I had a video of myself, because there was this guy both of us don't really like, and I paired up with him in GBL, beat the piss out of him. And I told him, like, dude,
yes.
I sent him a picture message of the matchup with this guy. And I was like, dude, I was just humping my fucking counter. I was so excited. And he's like,
yes,
I'd watch that. Really? Because you know me, and you know I'm like vulgar and rude sometimes, and like not, I don't know. He's like, no, I'd totally watch that. I'm like, okay. Then once the shutdown happened, I have a slim background in photography, so I went and bought a camera, because I was like, I'm going to be outside for the next who knows how long anyway, because, you know, when's the casino going to open back up? We don't know.
Right.
I'm going to take some pictures. And then when I had told GoCast Chris about that, he's like, so you going to start streaming? Okay. All right. I'm in. Let's figure this out and do this. So I bought a computer, got the whole setup, and was like, okay, how do I Twitch? Because I had previously like recorded my PvP battles in like the GBL preseason and season 1 just on my phone, clipped them together with some terrible program, and threw them on YouTube to see if anybody would watch it. Like 5 people did.
Right.
The only video that got any traction from that was I had titled it well or something. It was like when Master League first came out in either the preseason or season 1, and I got fucking handled. I got beat on. It was terrible. I think I won 8 or 9 games out of the 25, because it must have been the preseason, because I had no idea what I was doing with Master League. So that one got like, it was 50% thumbs downs from views. I'm like, let's not do that again. That's probably bad for channel growth, right? Like, I don't know how all this stuff works. I don't care, whatever.
What was it about Twitch though? Like, was it because the stuff you were putting up on YouTube that wasn't getting any traction, or is it just that PvP really lends itself to the live experience?
Because I get to be an entertainer live, makes it more fun for me, and I hate video editing, and I'm not going to do it. So
Dude,
I'm just going to do it live.
I'm with you like so incredibly much. Like even when I do like dumb shit on video where it's like a 20-second thing, I'm like, yo, I can't do this. Like this is not my language. And it's like, I'll learn anything, but the getting into that, man, the fucking learning curve is insane. It's not like, I guess it's just like audio. You just got to get used to it. It's like now it's like I edit so much fucking audio, it's coming out of my pores. But yeah, I struggle with that, man. So I feel you there. And it's like, fuck yeah, I could just stream. And when I'm done, I'm done. It's like I get to actually go to bed. I don't have to edit for fucking 4 hours. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. No, that's whenever I hear streamers talk about that and I ask them that's like the number one response. It's like, man, I just don't want to edit.
Yeah, I believe it. Because if it were up to me to like do 4 hours of editing rather than like go do something fun, it just would never happen. So that's that. Like, I'd rather stare at my wall for an hour than like edit stuff for 4 hours. Like, that's just not going to happen.
Dude, I've been getting bad. Some of these Lured Up episodes, it's like, it's an hour-long episode, and it's 4 or 5 hours of audio editing, and it's like, holy shit, man, this is... There's got to be a better way. And it's like Twitch. No, it's just,
yeah,
it really is. No, the live, but I could totally see where you're coming from an entertainment perspective. Anything that's scripted and staged is one thing, but the energy and dynamic that's created just organically from having the live environment is great. So if your personality and your vibe kind of works well in that spur of the moment setting, then yeah, fucking streaming is awesome because you get to capture that energy and capture that dynamic that even if you were to tell the same jokes or pull the same puns or do whatever in a scripted and, pre-recorded format, it may not hit the same. It may not work the same. So yeah, every so often you'll find a streamer that's just like, yeah, they're in their element in the live setting. And that makes a lot of sense. And I think that's important for like people that are getting into streaming of understanding the dynamic between how you represent yourself on film or on screen with pre-produced content or the live setting. It's a huge difference in dynamic. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense that, you're used to being put on the spot by people because you worked in that segment. So that makes a lot of sense. That's really fucking cool, man. I love that. That sounds really neat.
Yeah, it makes it fun, and if it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. Like, that's just the end of it.
Dude, it's super cliche to say it, but there's a lot of reasons why that makes sense in content. One, because you're going to lose your shit if you're not having a good time. You're going to lose your fucking mind. And two, the viewer's going to see through that shit like immediately. They're going to know like, dude, this person doesn't want to be here. They don't want to talk about this. Or like it comes off so differently when your heart isn't aligned with, your words and your brain and your body language and your action. So yeah, man, I would hope that every creator would feel that way, that if they're not into it or it's not enjoyable, that they would not do it. But yeah, it's tough, man. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense because in that live element, the transparency is right there, and people are going to see every hole in your personality, if it's not supported by your actions and stuff like that. So that makes a ton of sense. Now, I do want to talk about PvP on Twitch specifically because I think that there's been this, because of the lockdown and because of the corona and all this shit, the boom of PvP on Twitch was massive. And I think one of the main reasons being the accessibility for creators. If they can get their phone on screen, they could pretty much start a stream. And you saw this like boom of all these different streamers, and PvP really have this amazing reinforcement and support, and the community behind PvP is fucking awesome. But why do you think that Twitch specifically has become the home kind of for PvP? Is it just that like it's just such a weird dynamic because previously like Pokemon Go creation content, video content was on YouTube, and it didn't have a strong foothold on Twitch. And then all of a sudden PvP came and flipped that shit on its head. And it was like everybody moved to Twitch. It was fucking crazy. What do you think it is about Twitch? Is it just the I don't know, is it the vibe, the chat? Like, what could it be?
I think it's the barrier to entry to streaming on YouTube, because you have to have your channel in such a position to be able to live stream, where on Twitch you can just download it and go.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Because
All
if
right,
that
well,
barrier to entry
that
weren't
makes total
there,
sense.
everybody's already on YouTube.
Oh, you know what? Isn't it 1,000? You need 1,000 YouTube subscribers, I believe.
1,000 subscribers, some absurd amount of hours watched, and a certain number of engagements or something. I read it a little while ago because I have one video that did really, really well, and I'm like, I wonder if I get any money out of this. No, not even close, nerd. You're like halfway there.
Here's 8 cents. No, it's like, yeah, they really put a stretch on it, and those rules kind of changed the parameters maybe a year or two ago, because it wasn't always like that. You could they used to let everyone stream right out of the gate, and then I guess there was just to throttle the bandwidth, they put that gate on it. So that makes a lot of sense. I mean, Twitch is very accessible,
and I think that'll throttle the growth of YouTube long term. Because so many people have moved over to Twitch, it's not hard to get to affiliate and start getting a little bit of money back. I mean, you would talk to Ken Alfindial not that long ago, and he made partner in 6 months because of that boom that we're talking about right now. And I think reversal jumping in early helped a lot for any Pokemon Go content. King IV was on pretty early. He's the man. So Anywhere he goes, people will follow. FP Sticks got on pretty early. He's huge. He had a massive following and still has a massive following on YouTube. That's going to be enough driving force for other people to see, oh, they can do it. And then other smaller people, like Ken isn't nobody, but he didn't have a giant audience. And then he blew up. Oh, if this guy can do it, I can do it. All they have to see is somebody that they don't know or have a small connection with do it, and then all right, I'm in, I can get this done.
Yeah for me, and I'm a huge fan of Alfindial, and I think for me what sold me on the dynamic that PvP content can bring through Twitch was that real, just, I don't know, whimsy, fun, it had such a different dynamic than PvP content that I was used to watching on YouTube. When I was watching PvP content on YouTube, it was graphs and numbers and charts and fucking math and all this crazy shit, which I do like. But then I'm watching, let me check out Alfindial on fucking Twitch, and he's hosting a butt cup, and he's talking about Pokemon fucking each other, and it's like, dude, this is great. Like, I'm in. Like, This is fucking hilarious. And so I just think that different dynamic of, just having fun, I just think that Twitch just really is a catalyst to all that. So it just makes so much sense. But I love that juxtaposition where you could take this technical ass thing like Pokemon Go PvP and combine it with a fun and entertaining dynamic from the host, and you have this awesome melding of, technicality and entertainment. It's like, fuck, yes, the secret sauce. So I love that, and I get that with your content too. It's just fucking hilarious. I'm getting to see the core info that I need, but it's delivered to me in a way that is entertaining. It's like the perfect fucking blend. And when it comes to your channel, I want to get into Magic the Gathering, but you also do some Final Fantasy streaming. Talk to me about Magic. Like, how has this kind of impacted your life? Because pretty much everyone that I know that got into Magic early, it has this Pokemon-like effect where the people carry it throughout their whole life. Has Magic had that kind of impact on you?
Oh, absolutely. I learned to play when I was 9 years old in 1995, and maybe have had like a total of 4 years, maybe 5 years of break in playing since then.
Yeah.
I remember
it has that power.
Yeah, it is that it's, once you know the game and understand it, it's so easy to come back in and go play a draft. And then once you play a draft, you're like, oh, what's in standard? Oh, there's this new format. Oh, everybody's playing Commander still. Like there it is. Like, you're done. Yeah. You're back in.
What is the what's the market like for Magic cards? Because I mean, obviously, right now the Pokemon card market is fucking out of control and inflated and madness, and you can't go to a fucking big box store and find them for shit. Like they're just sold out. But I've noticed that Magic they're pretty empty shelves too. Like, how's the popularity level been like now compared to like where it's maybe been over the past 5 or 10 years?
I'm trying to figure out how to make this a short answer. Okay, so the biggest boom in the economy of the game is in the older cards. They're like there's a thing called a reserve list, like stuff that they're not going to print again. The money in that stuff from like the beginning of the game to like the 95, 97, and even some 1999 era cards has gone fucking bonkers. It's out of control. The price of stuff has gone tenfold, 20-fold on random things on this reserve list. As for new cards, a lot of the demand is, I don't know, because clearly we used to think that competitive play drove the market. If 2020 taught us anything, is that it's not true. There was no competitive play. It doesn't exist. And people are still buying up everything. Now, Wizards of the Coast has gone into a different era of product distribution in ways that they're selling booster boxes. Like Pokemon has like tins and packs and boxes, but it's all really like the same product. You can't buy like a premium version of the Sun and Moon expansion, right? So Magic has 3 different ways you can buy booster packs of the same new set. There's a collector's pack, which is obscenely expensive, basically all foil, has like extended borders and all this crazy stuff. There's a collector's pack, which has a guaranteed foil, a couple more uncommons, and something from this list of reprints of things outside the set. And then there's a regular draft box, which is like, a regular box of cards, 36 packs, 15 cards in each pack.
Dude, that's super fucking interesting. I didn't know that. And I gotta tell you, if Pokemon did something like that, people would go fucking nuts. Because with, one of the latest sets they had in Japan, they had these God packs where one per fucking pallet or whatever would be all foils. And, seeing these things ripped open on streams has been fucking insane. But if someone could go into it knowing like, hey, I could get a pack of all rares or all foils, dude, people would shell out stupid money, man. Like that's wild. I didn't know they did that. What's the difference between like a regular booster price versus like one of those high-end booster prices?
So the like Kaldheim is the name of the newest Magic set. A draft box, like your regular standard old booster box, about $100. The collector's box,
so $3 a pack, $3.33 a pack, something like that.
Right. I don't think about I haven't bought individual packs in so long that I have no idea what they cost. I just know the box prices. The collector's box, like the one in the middle with some of the cool extra stuff, is like $120. And or that's the set booster. Sorry, the set boosters are like $120. The collector's box, which is only 12 packs, but like basically everything's foil and fancy and crazy, those are like $220.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's a huge jump in price, and you get like a third of the amount of cards.
Wow, dude. I really hope, it's like, as much as I know people would spend it on Pokemon, it's like, man, now that I think about it, I hope they don't do that shit.
It's
people will be broke.
Possible.
That's wild.
Wizards doesn't have control of Pokemon anymore like they did when I learned to play the game in 99 or whatever. So I have no idea how they're printing or if they would run into proprietary issues trying to come up with some kind of thing like that. I don't know.
Man, that's wild, though. That's wild. I used to actually, I was employed by Wizards of the Coast in 99 to host TCG tournaments.
No shit.
For Pokemon.
That's awesome.
Yep. In my area, we had brick and mortar Wizards of the Coast stores. Mm-hmm. So
there was one in Woodfield Mall in Schaumburg.
Yeah. I would do Wizards. I would do Pokemon TCG tournaments, and then I would do different miniature games like Warhammer 40K and shit like that. I would host like game nights at their stores.
That's awesome.
So it was so cool. Dude, I used to get fucking stupid amount of cards, man. They would pay me in cards. It was fucking awesome. They were like, "Do you want a paycheck?" It's like, "No, just give me the cards, man. Just give me the cards."
That's cool.
But I like the diversification of content on your channel, and it's something I want to talk about because when we've talked to YouTubers that have made the transition from the YouTube platform to Twitch, what they tell me is that on YouTube, it's very difficult to have diversified content. People go to the YouTube channel, they want one thing and one thing only. But when you go to Twitch, you have a little bit more of this lateral freedom to expand to different games, even if the games do not relate to each other. So do you think that's a luxury that only Twitch can kind of give when you compare it to YouTube, like that it allows you to do like Magic content and Final Fantasy content? Like, I don't think that would work on YouTube if you were a YouTuber doing Pokemon Go PvP YouTube and also Magic the Gathering YouTube and also Final Fantasy stuff. Like, it just seems to merge and work so much better together on the Twitch platform than it would anywhere else. Like, it's got to be the platform, right? That allows for that diversification of content. Is your audience the same from game to game?
No. Audience is massively different, and to be honest,
that's so fucking cool, man. See, that's the coolest shit. That's what's awesome. I love that.
Right. That's pretty cool because, like, the last time I was doing Final Fantasy stuff, I had a couple people watching. Now, I was rated by a Pokemon, like a Pogo's PvP streamer, because that was the day that 3 days ago when Niantic shut down Go Battle League because they don't know how to run shit sometimes. No, I shouldn't be so critical. Like, I will be critical, and
if there's ever a place to be critical, it's here, dude. It's fine.
I will structure an argument for that later on. But when they had to take Go Battle League down because of the beginning of the Kanto event, Math Magic was like, all right, we'll raid somebody. I forgot to change the game I was playing on my title. So, he raided on over, which was cool. Super appreciate stuff like that. And like 25 people still stuck around to watch me play Final Fantasy while I was getting my fucking head kicked in by Reno. Or no, it was Rude this time. But I'm playing it on hard mode, and it's a real motherfucker, and I suck at video games, so that probably might be why some people watch, is just to watch me get pissed off at a video game.
It's for the like car crash thing. It's like, I can't look away. He's getting wrecked.
Right. And Rude's like beating my face in 3 or 4 times in a row before I finally figure out how to beat this guy, which is, it's fun. And I love that game in particular from when I was a kid playing it on the PlayStation, and the remake is beautiful and an awesome, fun to play game. Now, I did it knowing that there are a few people in the Twitch chat, like friends of mine, that'll still watch from Pokemon Go PvP, but not many. And I really don't care if anybody watches. I'm doing it for me. Like, I'm not looking to get rich off of this. If I do end up making money on this, it's going to take a long time anyway. I know this is a slow process. It's okay. If I catch some more people who like it, cool. If I don't, whatever. I'm going to keep doing it anyway. Now, I stopped doing MTG, like Arena, on Twitch for the most part. I might do some more eventually, but I don't like the direction that Standard is going and the way that they're printing cards, because their philosophy has changed in the way that they're making cards. They just print overpowered, busted shit and ban it. Rather than actually playtest stuff and figure out, oh, this shit's fucking broken. No kidding. It's like a 4-mana 4/4 that has 19 abilities. No shit, it's busted. Idiot. So because of that, and I don't want to spend a lot of money on MTG Arena because I spend a lot of money on Paper Magic, I might get back into that eventually. But I do open a collector's booster box of everything that comes out, like all the new sets. I'm going to keep doing that on Twitch, and then just clip that part off, upload it to YouTube, because it's fun for me. I like, and that I've gotten several different people just looking at Magic stuff who pop in, and then I get to talk about that game in particular and what's going on, and like why do I think this card is good, bad, in between, what I'm going to do with it, the financial markets of the game, which are fucking batty. I mean, it's basically just like Pokemon, it's an unregulated stock market. It's nuts.
Yeah. That's super cool, man. And that's super interesting to me from a content perspective, because when you have diverse content and then that ultimately translates into a diverse community, it's really cool that you're able to juggle the different vibes of the different communities. And then when there is an opportunity to have some kind of crossover penetration, from community to community, that's really cool. When you can tie it all together, I think that's an interesting dynamic. So what can a first-time viewer expect from your Pokemon content? So someone that's checking out your stream for the first time, and they're, what's typical when it comes to your content? What kind of PvP stuff are you actually covering, and what can they expect?
Usually I'm grinding Go Battle League. It depends on the point in the season. When I jump on this week, it's Kanto Cup. I'm going to be playing goofy stuff because it's unranked and I want to have fun.
Nice.
At the beginning of the season, it's grind time. I'm going for Legend. That's the plan. That's the goal. And we'll be playing a variety of different teams. I like playing different mons. Not necessarily just playing straight meta things, but sometimes I do because I've got the end goal in mind. Now, once I hit Legend, I have a lot more fun because then I can just screw around and play whatever I want. I can test new teams. Like the last week of the season, I was just playing a triple Shadow team to mash on stuff with the Machamp, Hypno, and Mawile and see what happens. Because it's fun.
Interesting. No, that's again, PvP for me, when I first started learning about it and trying to understand it, it was like I felt like the stick was getting pushed further and further up my ass as I was learning more and more about it. And it was like, so it's very refreshing to slowly pull the stick out of my ass and have fun with this shit again. And that's thanks to, content like yours, man. So that's great. I definitely can appreciate that because, it makes it easier for me to digest Pokemon Go PvP content when it's kind of in a burrito filled with other good shit, other fun stuff.
Right.
So I definitely appreciate that. I definitely do.
I make cow puns. My best league is Ultra League, oddly. So
what?
Open Ultra League.
Fucking Ultra League.
Open Ultra League is really good to me. That's where I hit Legend and had an absolutely insane run through it. So once I hit Legend, I was like, all right, now I can play Premier because I kind of suck at it, but it's probably the best format because it's the most open and Wild West craziness. Like, you can see a variety of probably 60 different playable mons in ridiculous combinations. So,
that's cool. I never thought of it like that.
I felt very free to just go lose. Whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. We hit Legend. I'm in.
That's awesome. That's great. Now, this was always interesting to me, and I've talked about this on Lured Up Proper a million times of how when Niantic puts together their different in-game systems, everything kind of feeds and supports a different system. You want to power up your Pokemon, you need Stardust. How do you get Stardust? You have to go out and grind. You have to hatch eggs. You have to do raids. You want the good IV Pokemon for PvP, you have to catch those Pokemon. How do you do that? You got to go out and fucking play. You got to catch. So you have all these different things that feed into each other. So as someone that I know grinds fucking hard, how much of that do you think is important to being competitive in PvP? Like, is it important to really get out there and catch a shit ton of Pokemon to find the right PvP Pokemon, the right IVs? The viewership, the general viewership is so split on the importance of IVs and how some people will say, hey, if I, on this community day, on Machamp community day, whatever, I'll catch what I catch, my best one for PvP, I'll power up, versus someone who has the attitude of, no, I need to find this, rank 1 PvP IV Pokemon 0, 15, 15, whatever the fuck it is. And that's what I'm always interested in hearing. What is your take on that? How important is finding those Pokemon to being competitive in GBL or, PvP in general? And how does like the grind and the impact of being out there catching 1,000 fucking Pokemon a day, how much does that play into, what you think about this?
To be fair, my average caught per day is 500, but today was a good day. We had a killer spotlight hour. IVs don't matter until they do is probably the best way I've heard it described. If you have a dominating winning matchup, it doesn't matter if you have a 15-0-0, you're going to win, right? Like,
yeah.
The biggest disparity and the biggest change you're going to see, I think, is in Ultra League with XL Mons. There's been a big conversation between a lot of people about Abomasnow in particular. Do you power up a hundo to level 45? Do you get the 115-14, I think it is, or the 0... Yeah, I think it's 115-14 is like the level 50 rank one, or a 015-15 is the level 51 rank one. What's better? Now, each one wins different matchups.
Yeah.
So that's what actually meant. So if you want to take and look at the very specific, okay, it depends on how your team's structured. Okay, I need the Abomasnow to be able to beat this. What Abomasnow do I need to do that so it covers the rest of my team? It's very in-depth at that point as to what you want to do, and I think XL Candy only accentuates that fact.
So really, I mean, the IVs and ultimately by extension the XL Candy, it's endgame PvP shit, right? Like the people that should be concerned with that are the elite players, the ones that are really digging in technically to matchups and things like that. I think that, I don't know if it's influenced by the content or influenced by what we see on social media, but it seems that like IVs are so incredibly important. And then whenever I talk to anyone who's a high level PvP player, they're like, nah, not really. So it's always this interesting dynamic of like me trying to convince the people like, it's okay that you don't have the best IV Pokemon for a PvP scenario. Like, oh, well, I don't want to use it then. It's like, still use it. Like people won't invest in it unless it's like the ideal, specking. And it's like, it's always refreshing to hear from people that are experienced say like, look, it really doesn't impact it as much as you might think.
There are times it will, and you will see those matchups and lose because you died to an extra bubble, or you didn't live through 2 more bubbles from an Azumarill to get off your next charge move. It happens. And that's because your whatever it was doesn't have enough defense. Or I think one of the most interesting examples would be Galarian Stunfisk beating or losing to Registeel. If you have a higher attack G-Fisk, it can beat Registeel. If you have a 0-15-15, it can't because the mud shots don't do enough damage.
Wow, okay. And that could really be the difference. What we're talking about here, it could be 1 damage, right, per move. Like that's the difference.
Right, and that's so looking at different break points and getting really into it. Now, do I power up everything good? I try to. But like for Love Cup, I powered up a rank 680 something Alola because it's what I had that got even close to 1500. And it still won a bunch of games. It was still real good when it was good because that Fingerfish is just a tank.
I love hearing that because that kind of helps break down some of the barriers to entry or the intimidation factor of players that want to get into PvP because they say, oh, I just don't have the right Pokemon because I'm not out there catching 500 Pokemon a day. I might only catch 50 Pokemon a day. So it's like, it's just trying to convince people like, it'll be okay. Like just use the Pokemon. You have the Pokemon, worry about the moveset, worry about your, when you switch and how you bring your Pokemon out. Like it's just, I love hearing that. I think that's really interesting. But now I got a good question for you. And I hope that you'll answer this freely here. And I want to get your hot take, and this kind of bounces off what you were saying before. Your impression of like how Niantic specifically handles PvP and ultimately by extension like the battler community. What's your hot take on that?
dumpster fire. Now, to expand on that a little bit, I want to give them, and you in particular have changed the way that I address this because I was being an asshole previously on Twitter about it, and you had said, check yourself, stop swearing at Niantic. I'm like, you're right. These are people. I should stop being a direct douche to them. Fine, I'm in. I'll do that. Now, what I'm beginning to believe is that, and this all bars, or the once Niantic developers and everybody can go back to the office, we will find out the truth. Because right now, we understand they're under limited capacity. They can't do much. It's very difficult to fix things. I believe that to a point, other than they keep rolling out new things.
Right.
I'm beginning to believe that their goal is to have a game that functions barely well enough to sell, to further the interests of AR and buying other companies so that they can AR map the world and sell digital advertising space. I don't believe their interest is in creating a fully functioning good game.
Fucking hot takes, yeah.
And they're proving it more and more.
I've heard it. I've heard that before, man. Like honestly, and you said specifically the digital advertising space. And I've read a ton of papers on this. I've really been looking into this and how, persistent AR geographic locations can be applied to commercialism and stuff like that. And dude, I've heard it from a lot of people. And, I've also heard that Pokemon Go, Ingress, and Harry Potter and all that shit, they're just the stepping stones to realizing that vision.
Right. Why else?
Which may be the fucking case. I mean, we know that they're an AR brand and they're leading the tech sector, and yeah, they're gobbling up fucking companies left and right. But it's very interesting of where the franchise and where the brands that they work with fit into that puzzle. So that's a fucking hot take, dude. That's very interesting.
They're cash machines. That's where they fit into the puzzle.
They fund everything else that's going on that we don't see.
Right. Because, I mean, how on earth could a mobile game make so much money and run so poorly? Right now, we got to give them leeway with the pandemic. Fine. I will do that. I will wait and see. But that's part of the reason why my content started shifting is, one, I was getting a little bored with Go Battle League, and two, I don't know if they don't want to fix things, I don't know how much longer I want to invest in this game. I spend a fair amount of money, and if it comes down to it and they don't want to fix it once available, I'm going to vote with my wallet, not spend anything, and probably not participate and play. Why would I further a brand that I don't believe in?
And how does that impact creating content? So if you're making GBL content and the shit isn't working and things are bad, is that something that you can dance around when you're creating live content, or does the stream itself just grind to a halt? The viewers leave? How does that impact you as a creator when the game isn't functioning in a live format?
It sucks. You should check out the next time GBL goes down, go on Twitch and watch. Every time I start having issues, I'll click over and be like, all right, let's see who else is having problems, because I stream at the same time as 6 or 7 other people that I follow. I'll just click on their streams real quick and see, yep, they're having issues too. Yep, they're having issues too. Now, I'll just say, fuck it, I'm switching over to playing Final Fantasy. You guys don't like it? I'll see you tomorrow. But these other guys, a lot of them don't do that. That's why Math Magic rated me on the stream on Friday. Because I guess my day's done because GBL's down.
Yeah.
I don't want to run into that.
No, because I've seen people try to push through, and it's fucking painful, man. And it's I could see the frustration in their fucking eyes, where it's just
right.
It's got to be exceptionally trying when, the work, the effort that you're putting in to build the content, to build the audience, to build reputation and rapport with your viewers, and it's just like you're kind of pushed to the brink of fucking insanity because you can't even play the game that you're trying to use as the conduit to build these relationships. It's like I've seen it, and it's like I always like asking people because, yeah, man, it has to be a direct impact on your viewers sticking around. Like, they're gonna go,
absolutely.
They're gonna leave.
If it's what they're there to
yeah.
watch, and it doesn't work, they're going to go do something else. They're going to go watch one of King's videos on YouTube for this half hour while the game's down. And I don't blame them. It's the content they want to consume. Cool, whatever. If I'm not done streaming, or if I'm not going to sit here getting pissed off because I'm pretty open emotionally like that. Like, I'll just, fuck this. What the fuck? This fucking piece of shit. And you'll hear that on stream. If that offends you, I'm sorry. Don't come. I'll just switch. Like, it's fine. I'm good. It doesn't bother me. If I don't have to play, if I don't get to play GBL that day, am I going to be disappointed? Yes. It's what I want to do when I turn on Twitch. But if it ain't going to work, I ain't going to sit there getting mad and losing games because of lag. I can lose games just fine on my own. I don't need the game fucking with me to do it.
Now, what's your take on things outside of GBL, like Sylph and, stuff that Go Stadium's doing, or even like Coliseum? Like, how does that play into your content mix? Are you typically sticking with GBL, or are you doing, Sylph Cups and stuff like that as well?
I've streamed a couple of Sylph tournaments before, and I kind of like it, other than I have to put the stream on like a ridiculous delay. So I don't really get to interact with anybody, which takes like half of the fun away from me. And generally, I trust all the people that I'm playing these tournaments with, because I don't play in big, open, like Go Stadium tournaments or anything, because of my experience during regionals last year. My second round opponent, who I barely beat, was like, hold on, I gotta look at that. Takes 10 minutes, probably threw my team through a simulator the whole time, comes back with the one thing that kind of fucks my whole team up for games 2 and 3, and I lose, and I have no recourse, because I'm not staring at the guy in front of him to tell him to fuck off and put away PV Poke. Like,
right.
I have no options. I messaged the tournament moderator, and I'm like, this is what happened. I can't prove anything, and it sucks. He's like, it does. I'm like, I know. I'm just telling you, so if anybody else says something in the future, you got something for history.
No, I've seen, especially lately, there's the stream sniping thing. I mean, it happens in every game, but because of the nature of how PvP works and what's visible on your opponent's screen, it's like it's the same as playing a shooter and knowing exactly where your opponent is.
Right. It's just like when we were kids, looking at the right side of their screen and blowing up your buddy. Like, it's the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah, no, but it's been pretty bad lately. I mean, it's like people are preying on it. They use that as their opportunity, and the shitty part is a lot of times it's high-ranked players, and they get there because, in part because they're fucking cheating.
Now,
it sucks.
Once we stream PvP, we understand that it's probably going to happen. I'm pretty small. I'm not super good. Like, is anybody going to try to stream snipe me? Probably not. I ended the season at like 3,200 rating or so. I capped out at like 3,300. Like, I'm not that good. It's okay. Now, so other people are hearing that, like, throwing their phones, but like, compared to the other people that I'm watching, I suck, and that's fine. I've got a lot of room to improve, which I find to be a very good thing, because it gives me room to grow.
Yeah, hell yeah, for sure. And I gotta ask this, because I ask everyone that does PvP. I gotta talk about esports, because this is just always an interesting conversation. But we all want Pokemon Go PvP to be an esport. We all know that it's clearly not ready. But besides the stability issues, though, like besides latency and just shit not working, mechanically, what do you think PvP needs to make it a little bit more competitive, to be more competitive from an entertainment perspective on the esports stage? Do you think there's any mechanics that the game needs? Maybe some stuff borrowed from main series? Like, is there anything else that you think PvP still needs to iterate on, or do you think what it needs is just to take its current iteration and just make it fucking clean and make it work?
If assuming everything worked perfectly in the way that it is now, just like Alfindiel had said, the barrier to entry for new players is the biggest problem to making it an esport. It'll take you months to get to a point of feeling competitive. Now, granted, if you're like, I want to play Call of Duty competitively, it's going to take you months to be any good at it, right? So I don't think that's necessarily a massive barrier to entry, other than you're probably going to spend more money on Pokemon Go than you would just buying Call of Duty. Like,
right. Right.
Other than that, like, a system set up with, we have a leaderboard. That's a huge step one. Money to be involved would be important, which might be difficult for the Pokemon company to get behind, because it's not going to end up being like League of Legends where they're playing a $100,000 tournament, right?
Right.
Now, could the Pokemon company stop an outside entity from doing that? I don't know. But would they? Probably not, because it's huge for the brand.
Yeah. See, I think that where this can excel from an organized competitive perspective may not ever be on the esports stage, like you would see something like even Clash Royale or, other mobile games. Definitely not on the level of something like League of Legends or even shooters, Overwatch or Call of Duty, whatever it may be. But Pokemon itself has an exceptionally robust and successful network of play Pokemon locations that are game stores, card stores, hobby shops, that kind of thing, that host these tournaments. So they have this incredible network that's existing and built in through the Pokemon Trainer Club on Pokemon.com to allow for very robust competitive tracking. Now, there's no big streams, there's no big productions, there's no big sponsors. These are all happening at like little mom and pop stores. I think that's the ticket. I think that is the method that Pokemon Go needs to explore to make this successful from a competitive aspect. And then once you have this network of, the install base has to be hundreds. There has to be hundreds of locations in the country of the US alone where they host official play Pokemon tournaments. So if Pokemon Go was added to that network and built up that, infrastructure and that foundation, that can then be the breeding grounds for something like a regional tournament to then get the quality players to ship them out to regional and international and worlds-based tournaments. It's just a very interesting thing to me. I don't know if this game will ever be what I wanted in terms of a big razzle-dazzle like Hollywood production esport where, you see these fucking Fortnite tournaments or, Apex tournaments or League of Legends. Like, I just don't know. But I do think it would crush if it was all of a sudden, and you're allowed to go out in the real world and interact with people. And you can go to Pokemon.com and find a network of, 10 different places in your area that are hosting Pokemon Go PvP tournaments. That's the ticket. I think that's the launch pad for this to be a successful esport one day, is you got to build the infrastructure of the competitors. And when you look at it like that, the Pokemon VGC, that barrier to entry is fucking insane too. Because it's like, then you got to breed Pokemon. And like that whole process is fucking like brutal. It's like pulling fucking teeth. And that's not something where you could just, buy your way in or anything like that. And yeah, your Pokemon don't necessarily have to be leveled because everyone gets balanced, but the IVs matter so much that you have to do all this breeding and all this move shit. It's wild, man. I love this. I really hope that we can get back to real life because, is there really anything better than a fucking in-person tournament? Like, that's a huge difference between what we're seeing on stream and playing in real life, right? Like, that's got to be a completely different dynamic. And I've hosted a shit ton of tournaments, but I typically don't play in them. But what's the big difference between, like, the dynamic of playing someone face-to-face across from the table versus playing GBL with someone that's out in the ether?
Oh, it's massive. It's the same thing. Like, I've spent most of my childhood and young adult life in local game stores, playing Magic competitively. Like, there was a point where we were tournament grinding and going to all the Pro Tour qualifiers, going to Grand Prix trials, trying to qualify for everything. And that type of qualification process and grinding, I would thoroughly enjoy in this game.
Nice.
It would be awesome. It would be fun. What you just described is what Sylph Arena has already set up, right?
Sure.
Except in somewhat of a digital format. We have recently especially seen that Niantic is totally willing to pirate the Sylph Arena ideas and call it a different cup, which is fine. Whatever. If they're going to do that again and just buy Sylph, essentially, like if they're on company acquisition, just go for it and buy them. Do it. That would be great if they could get that kind of... Because the money for all that kind of stuff is not going to come from Niantic. They won't even put it into the game. They're not going to put it into a tournament scene. The money for the tournaments and everything would have to come from Nintendo, which isn't out of the stretch of the imagination. Like, that's not impossible, right?
The network is there. That's the thing. It's already built.
Right. So
the install base is there.
Right. So if they can get I'm saying the money for the tournaments and prizes and funding for travel and all this other stuff, that could potentially come from Nintendo. Right?
It could. Sure. I mean, these things are subsidized when you get to like the international tournament level, regional tournament level, and of course Worlds. This stuff is all subsidized by a Pokemon company, and I'm sure Nintendo has their stake in there too.
Right. So that's not out of the realm of possibility. I do believe that it would be possible. It would just be if Niantic wants or actually believes that is a direction they want to take the company in, or if they're going to keep putting resources into AR.
I want AR PvP, man.
Oh, that would be so
want AR
fun.
raids.
But I mean, really, I want everything too. I want AR raids would be so sick. Like, you're standing in the middle of this park with like 10 people around wherever this gym is, and you can like look at the Tyranitar that all the Machamps are just mashing on. Hell yeah.
Dude, that would be so sick. Awesome.
I got a gift to send you with that image later.
Nice.
But there's so many things they could do. I don't want them to do anything until the game works right.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, that's why I don't think it's anywhere near being ready for the big stage.
Absolutely not.
You can't have any of that shit and resources and finances and all this logistics put behind a game if the game can't function. It's just not ready. It can't even be in the realm of possibility. But at the small level, like we're talking about, you could get away with it a little bit more.
Right, self-tournaments
you can get away with that flexibility.
We can figure out rematches and do all that stuff with self-tournaments. I mean, raid damage from raid bosses still doesn't work right. Yeah. Like you see it when you take a charge move, your health bar goes back up a little bit. Mm-hmm. If they can't get that right, come on, guys. They aren't even trying. And that's where, when I saw that, when I was trying the Genesect solo, I was getting so mad at that because I'm like, well, if I didn't fake die 4 times in a row, I would have won this fucking raid.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's good shit, man. But all right, well, as we wrap up here, man, I do want to talk about one more thing, and that's collaboration. I think that in the Pokemon space in particular, collaboration is something that we see a lot. We always see people working together. This community is fucking awesome. The creative community and influencer community here is awesome. Everyone supports each other, does a lot of work together. And I know that you've been able to do some different work. You were on GoCast podcast last week, which was fucking awesome. Make sure you check that out. But who have you been able to actually work with and connect with and do some content together with? Weren't you playing in like a King tournament or something like that?
I did a coaching session with King on his stream, which was super fun and helped me out a lot because, like I said, I'm not, I'm okay, but King's really good. So that was a lot of fun. I had Tiny Boy 306 on my stream, like hanging out chatting as we were battling, and he was helping me out with a new team. That was really cool. And Tiny Boy's got a great audience, and he's an incredible battler. I've done 2 charity streams with DeFi E250, which were
nice.
Competitive between us. Like the person who won the fewest number of games donated $100. So that
nice.
was fun. It was funny. The host streamer, because we did one on mine and one on her stream, the host streamer won both times. So we each
home field advantage,
right?
Dude.
That GoCast Chris came in and threw a bunch of money to make sure I played a shit team for a couple of games that sucked, and was because I think on DeFi's I was like 2 games behind, and that could definitely be attributed to me having to play some fucking dumb bugs or some shit on my team. Sorry, Chris.
That's right.
I love
It'll
you,
be like, play Sizor!
Yeah, exactly what happened. Did you watch it? Like, that is precisely what happened. It was awful.
That's great. Anyone you look forward to working with? Anyone that you'd like to work with?
Gosh, anybody. Like, there would be a lot of fun options. Like, duo streaming in particular, like, whether it's GBL or, just like going out to grind with people would be fun. Like I'm friends with Terry Wolf, and it would be, like he lives close by. It would be hysterical if I could get a better like mobile gaming setup to have the 2 of us walking around bullshitting about Community Day or some shit. Like, that would be great. That would be fun. That's the kind of stuff that I want to transition to, and like being able to play outside is something I'm very excited about doing. The 5G coming out on Verizon now, I think it'll work a lot better, because I did some in the beginning of summer when I was still figuring out like how streaming works, and I had a ton of fun doing it, because now all of a sudden, when we're not supposed to be within 6 feet of people, I can talk to people while I'm out playing again. It was great.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing duo streams with like Buck Nasty with Mumalo, I think the cow on cow action would be absolutely absurd. I think I think it was Super Saiyan Sensei called it Too Moo Too Furious. That would be just some of the worst. And so like we would have a lot of fun together. So any one of the PvP streamers that I look up to, I would really value being on their time like that and being able to showcase what I can do, or having them on my stream just to help push numbers would be great. But it's not just a numbers game for me, because I really don't care if this thing makes money at all. I'm just doing it for the fun of it. So if anybody's fun, I'm in. I'm open. If you want to jump on and do awesome. Kanto Cup and we could stream that shit together, that'd be hysterical. We would have a ton of fun together. And it doesn't matter if we're winning, because we're having fun.
Dude, I was on Go Stadium's stream the one time as like a featured guest, and doing my battles in one of their tournaments, and like, I didn't lose them all, which was great. That was my only goal. But it was like, I suck, and I had so much fucking fun, and it was super entertaining, and the feedback was amazing, and it had so little to do with my team selection or my my move sets, or it was just like it was fun to do, and I would do it again in a fucking heartbeat. So it's like, I love that perspective when it's applied to PvP, because I think that sometimes, PvP can be a little rigid. So it's nice to cut loose a little bit.
Right.
So that's fucking awesome.
And it's,
super cool, man.
Your perspective on PvP is what gives you that rigid feel or not, right? Like, if once I'm a rigid, stiff, and super competitive until I hit Legend, and like this last season, and then it's all fun because I hit my goal. After that, fuck it, who cares? But on the way up to the goal, I'm here to win. Like, let's play.
You can't waste any losses. Yeah. Like, if you're gonna lose, you got to lose, by trying to avoid it, not because you're having fun. Exactly. Yeah, I get that. I completely get that. It makes a lot of sense. But dude, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. This was fucking awesome. I really appreciate spending the time with you. This is great. I love talking PvP because I get to live a little vicariously through the guests sometimes. So it's exciting to talk PvP. It's not typically my my forte. So I love that shit, man. But why don't you, of course, links to everywhere you can find Legendary Moo are going to be in the description. But please let our community know where they can find you, and any shout outs or promotions, plugs, anything you want here. As we close out, please feel free. But where can our community find you?
Again, my name's Andrew. Legendary Moo _ on Twitch, at Pogo Moo on Twitter. I have a YouTube channel, but I don't have enough subscribers to get a vanity URL yet, so it's a bunch of fucking numbers. I'll post random things on there, but nothing really that interesting. Just thank you, Ken. Thank you for having me on. This is a ton of fun. I love doing it. Check out Ken on the GoCast podcast when he was just on a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was on 2 weeks ago.
Yep. And then I was on last week, and what was it, 3 or 4 weeks before that, when all the Discord moderators from GoCast took over an episode while Chris and Kyle were on vacation. That was a show.
Nice, yeah.
That's a shit show in some ways, but it was super fun, and actually came out surprisingly well in the end. Like, it actually became a show, and people liked it, which surprised all of us, I think.
That's great, man. But like I said, links will be in the description for everywhere that you can find Legendary Moo, and make sure you give them the sub, the follow, the like, whatever, all that good shit, the typical rigmarole. But we got to support the good peeps in this scene. And Legendary Moo, thank you, man. You're one of the good ones, so I appreciate your time again. Thanks so much again for coming on.
Thank you, Ken. I really appreciate it.
All right, everyone else, please check out luredup.com for everything we have going on at the show, PokemonProfessor.com for everything that's going on over at the network. Our merch store is live, PokemonProfessor.com/merch. And connect with us on socials, all that good shit. Keep training trainers. We'll see everybody next episode. Moo, thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody.